side. And I'm talking about Farmala. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me in studio now is the acting. You still acting?
Yes.
You still what? You're going up for an Academy Award? What, an Emmy? Okay, let me take you off the spot. Let me behave. We have Miss Farmala Jacobs with us. Good afternoon, Farmala.
Good afternoon, Petra. Thank you for having me.
You know how much work you done doing your little life? I mean, just thinking about you sometimes get me tired, and not in a bad way, because the work continues to be done day in, day out, day out. So let me begin, ladies and gentlemen. We have the acting for how long? How long have you been acting?
It's going to be, it's 4.5 years.
Okay. I'm going to have someone about public service regulations some other time, because we're going to have to discuss that. But with me in studios now, we have Miss Farmala Jacobs, the acting, what is it, director?
Yes.
Of the Department of Gender Affairs within the Ministry of Social Transformation. And we're going to be talking about the work of the Director of Gender Affairs, and then moving into the latest project that is coming up. Farmala, tell us about Farmala. I'm sorry, I didn't even tell you we were going to do this. I mean, we need to know who we have in such an auspicious and significant position. Farmala, tell us about you.
So I think that I am a very fun person. That's how I want to describe myself, because I'm always looking for, a light moment or opportunities to laugh. I enjoy listening to music a lot, especially reggae music. I enjoy reggae music.
Take away Antigua can.
I love soca too, but reggae is my first love. I enjoy dancing. That's something that I do a lot.
Okay, you get back Antigua can.
There you go. So I enjoy dancing and just communicating and socializing with people, my family and my friends, and community on a whole.
Okay, so that's the social side.
Yes.
You are still in your starring role, the head of the Gender Affairs. What's your academic and professional background? Okay,
so my academic background, I did my first degree at the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill. It is in labor and employment relations. So that was my first area of study. And then I did my master's with the Walden University in public policy. And my research paper basically focused on the work that I currently do right now, which is mainstreaming gender across public policies and so forth. I also completed a professional certification with the University of the West Indies Institute for Gender and Development Studies in Gender and Development. And in terms of just my background, I think, and I've always, spoken about the importance of volunteerism, because that is basically what started my interest in the area of gender. So while I was at the Antigua State College as a student, we had a Caribbean Studies SPA to do, and we had to look for a problem within society that we wanted to address. And so my issue was the lack of women in leadership. And so
what year was this?
That was in 2006.
Oh, you were in good times. Carry on.
I know, right? But still, so I wanted to look at the lack of women in leadership in politics, not just in Antigua, but in the Caribbean. And so that basically brought my attention to the Directorate of Gender Affairs and its work. At the time, the director was Ms. Sheila Rosso. And so I became a volunteer and then later on an intern at the Directorate of Gender Affairs, where I was able to spend some substantial amount of time just contributing to the work as a youth. So I spent a lot of time doing that, even when I came back from university during vacations and so forth. I also was a National Youth Ambassador. So I volunteered in that capacity with the youth department with the portfolio for gender and development.
You were setting this up a long time.
Well,
you didn't know. You weren't aware, but it was okay. Let me rephrase that. The stage was being everything coming back to acting. The stage was being set for a long while.
Yeah. So, as the youth ambassador responsible for gender, of course, that opened a lot of opportunities for me to partner with other youth groups and young people in Antigua and Barbuda to bring gender issues to the forefront, and also on a regional stage as well. I think I will leave it there because my volunteerism work really just expanded from there to include regional and international initiatives. So I'm a part of regional and international youth networks, and I've assisted with the creation of some of these networks. So, for example, the Caribbean Regional Youth Council is one network that I assisted, along with the other youth councils across the region to establish and so forth. So there are a number of initiatives that I gained a lot of leadership experience from that I'm really grateful for.
So you are one of those young people, because you're still young. You look youngish. You're youngish.
I think
You're young.
so.
You're
I'm
under
youngish.
35.
Yes.
You're under 35.
I am.
With all them things that you don't do, you still under 35. You just describe 50 years of work there, woman. Let me, ladies and gentlemen, and this is one of the beautiful things about what we've been able to do as a community. More and more of our young people have been able to rise to the level of leadership and to significantly impact you. If you were able to just listen to her portfolio, that's a very extensive portfolio, most of it driven by volunteerism, which is why, and I'll say this for her, not for her, on me, on my behalf, I don't understand why she's still working on this. Emmy, woman, it's not you. They're policymakers. It's time for the acting, but never mind that. Yes, so Farmala,
Yes.
tell us now about your work at the... No, change that question. Gender affairs. When we hear gender affairs, since Gwentong days, we hear women's affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair to equate women's affairs with gender affairs when we hear the director of gender affairs?
So I think the work for the women's desk, as it was formerly known from since it was established, has expanded way beyond what was the initial intention or the initial mandate for the directorate, and just broadly when it comes to addressing women's issues. And so when we talk about gender and when we refer to the Directorate of Gender Affairs, we're talking about taking into account and considerations the unique needs, concerns, and roles that the various populations in Antigua and Barbuda experience and face. So we're talking about women as a group, we're talking about men, we're talking about children, both boys and girls, we're talking about vulnerable populations like persons